It began with a call of a serious car crash, but ended with a homeowner being told his Halloween decoration looked a little too much like the real thing. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more from Laurel County on the crash that wasn't.
Slate Ridge Road is a small, rural, very narrow roadway, and people tell me that they would not be at all surprised if there was, in fact, a very serious car crash that happened here.
It's just one car, but they hit a pole with the whole front end smashed.
911 was called when a driver said a crash had occurred on Slate Ridge Road in Old US 25. That resulted in numerous first responders arriving to discover no actual crash, just a Halloween decoration of a car and a Grim Reaper on top. The homeowner was asked to put up a sign so the decoration wouldn't be a distraction again. Neighbors say they can understand how this could look like the real thing, especially at night.
At night, it looks real, especially in the dark. It's kind of foggy. And there's a lot of traffic through here, so people expect wrecks, I guess.
I am also told the homeowner put some lights up to better illuminate the display. We are told that this intersection has somewhat of a bizarre decoration each and every year, and there's already talk of what they may put here next year. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
We did speak with the folks who put up the decoration. They did not want to talk on camera, but they say they value the Lilly first responders and the important work that they do. On August 31st, the Kentucky National Guard was stationed at Pikeville Medical Center in response to a spike in COVID-19 cases and to help the hospital with non-medical duties. More than 1 month later, the hospital and city showed their appreciation with a parade. Police, fire, and EMS from the surrounding areas came together to show their support with a brief parade around PMC's main campus this morning. PMC President and CEO Donovan Blackburn says having the soldiers stationed is a humbling experience, one the hospital staff will forever be thankful for.
To see the look on our staff's face, knowing that someone cared outside of just their own community or their own administration, to be able to send in help, of volunteers, of people that are putting their own lives on the line.
Lieutenant Nicholas Amani says the soldiers have been welcomed with open arms in the hospital and throughout all of Pikeville. We will have more from PMC coming up at 6. There were plenty of smiles and storytelling Tuesday at the National D-Day Memorial. The attention was centered around special guest Walter Sarver, a 103-year-old World War II veteran from Virginia. Sarver enlisted in 1941 and eventually made his way to Europe. He finished his active duty a few years later. Now, decades later, he gets to see his name engraved in a brick at the site. However, this is not his first visit here, and for him, it's about others who have served.
A lot of people gave their lives for this country, so you gotta honor them people. They give it all.
Walter also adds that he wants people to understand the history behind the site and what it means in the greater historical picture.
Continuing to see sunshine around the mountains for yet another afternoon. Soak it up now because we do have changes on the way as we head into as soon as tonight. But out there right now, beautiful blue skies, the mountain parkway at Slade. Sun starting to set a little bit, casting some shadows from the trees on the roadway there. I-75 at Mount Vernon. Even still, seeing blue sky out there this afternoon. So just what we like to see this time of year. London Corbin Airport as well, sitting right now at a nice 71 degrees. Most of us in those low 70s at this hour. Our warm spot is Monticello at 74. Not too far from those mid 70s out there. Pinpoint Doppler, a clean sweep around the region. And that's something I think will continue at least for tonight, though things start to change tomorrow. You look out to the west. Frontal boundary across portions of the Midwest headed in our direction. That's going to increase those rain chances as soon as tomorrow. So for tonight, clouds on the increase, mid-50s out there, with those clouds kind of acting like a blanket, keeping it a little bit on the warmer side out there, at least the milder side as we head into tonight. I'll have the latest timing on those rain chances coming up in just a few short minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Confessed Parkland school shooter Nicholas Cruz pleaded guilty this morning to all charges stemming from the February 2018 massacre at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. A jury will still decide whether to sentence Cruz to death or life in prison. CBS's Maria Villarreal reports from outside the courthouse in Fort Lauderdale, where the shooter apologized to the victims.
Family members of Parkland school shooting victims wiped away tears inside a Florida courtroom moments before the gunman, Nicholas Cruz, apologized for the massacre.
I am very sorry for what I did, and I have to live with it every day. And that if I were to get a second chance, I will do everything in my power to try to help others.
The 23-year-old pleaded guilty to all charges, including murder and attempted murder.
Do you understand that you are giving up your right to appeal?
The judge asked him a long list of questions to confirm he was mentally competent to make the decision.
Do you understand that after today, when I accept your plea, you are stuck with your decision and you cannot change it? It will be too late.
I understand.
14 students and 3 staffers were killed in the attack at Marjory Stoneman Douglas in February 2018, making it the deadliest high school shooting in U.S. history.
We just do the best we can to get through each day, but each day is very, very painful. Some days like today are especially painful.
Tony Montalto's 14-year-old daughter, Gina Rose, was among the victims. He called the shooter's statement ridiculous.
He's doing it for our families. If you wanted to do something for our families, you shouldn't have killed our loved ones.
A penalty trial will determine whether the gunman will be sentenced to life in prison or death. Mireya Villarreal, CBS News, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
The judge scheduled that trial with new jurors to begin in January. The National Guard could step in to help with the supply chain crisis. Business groups are pressing the White House to help find a solution to address the ongoing bottleneck issues. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says he's not ruling out the possibility of either easing tariffs or using the National Guard to help unload cargo. The supply chain mess has caused delayed shipments, a rising cost of goods, and shelves have been left empty at stores across the nation. The Biden administration is preparing for the authorization of the Pfizer vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11 as the FDA considers booster shots for the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines. CBS's Natalie Brand reports from Washington.
The FDA could authorize booster doses of the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines as soon as today, and possibly the mix and match strategy for booster shots. In the coming weeks, the federal health agencies will also consider authorization of the COVID-19 vaccine for children ages 5 to 11, and the White House is gearing up.
We have secured vaccine supply to vaccinate every child ages 5 through 11.
Once the FDA and CDC sign off, the White House COVID response team says its distribution plan will target kid-friendly spaces, including more than 25,000 pediatric and primary care provider sites, as well as hospitals, pharmacies, and schools. Supplies will also include smaller needles, and the administration says it will launch a campaign to educate parents.
We will make sure that we are reaching parents in their language and through the people they trust.
The administration's health officials say more than 2 out of 3 eligible Americans are now fully vaccinated as more employers step up their vaccine requirements. New York City announced it's requiring police officers, firefighters, and EMTs to get their first dose by October 29th or be put on unpaid leave.
We are here to keep you safe so you can keep everyone else safe.
But some first responders, such as this firefighter from Washington State, are choosing to resign instead of comply with vaccine mandates.
I'm wrapping up my last shift after 20 years.
The CDC says unvaccinated people are more than 18 times more likely to end up in the hospital and 11 times more likely to die. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The Biden administration says it fully supports New York City's vaccine mandate for all city workers. Health leaders in the United Kingdom are demanding more COVID-19 restrictions to avoid what they are calling a winter crisis. The National Health Service Confederation is urging the government to introduce measures such as mandatory face coverings in crowded spaces, quote, without delay. The call comes as the UK recorded 223 deaths yesterday, its highest daily number since March. On Monday, the country recorded its highest number of daily cases, nearly 50,000, since July. Now experts fear the NHS could be at risk of being overwhelmed.